Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Cosmo Talks, the first online program of events by COSMOPROF Worldwide Bologna, organized at We COSMOPROF, the digital event for beauty. We are here today with Snoops, and we will talk about beauty shifts from culture to product. In this seminar, Snoops will discuss about shifts occurring within the beauty industry and will explain how various cultural movements have impacted the evolution of this shift. It is my honor to have with us Melissa Hago, Vice President, Creative Director Beauty at Snoops. So, Melissa, I know that you have an amazing presentation for us, so I leave immediately the mic to you. I remind you all that you can raise your question to Melissa in the question box at the right of your screen, and I will come back later on to raise the questions to Melissa. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you, Mattia. And thank you everyone for joining. So again, my name is Melissa Hago and I'm the VP of Beauty at Snoops. For those of you not familiar with Snoops, we're an online global trend agency. So we really look at cultural insights and how they are affecting the industry, meaning, what's happening in lifestyle, what's happening in sustainability, and how these lifestyle trends really will impact. And I specifically look at how these shifts will influence the beauty industry. So within beauty, it can be everything: makeup, hair, nails, ingredients, formulations, fragrance. So that's part of what we do. So I'll be talking to two trends today. So for those of you not aware, we actually have two-part series. Today I'm going to talk about preservation and tech synergy. And tomorrow I will be talking about more natural, clean beauty and global inclusivity. So again, please join us tomorrow as well if you're able to. So I'll get started with today. So our first trend, preservation. Obviously, we can't have a presentation and not talk about what's happening, talking about the global pandemic, talking about the way that people are shifting their buying. So we've created this trend called preservation, and it's really about preserving ourselves, but also preserving the land. So protection is another key word that we're looking at. We're seeing consumers wanting more products, again, that are protecting them, that are safe, that are hygienic. Keywords are starting to pop up like medicinal, clinical. We're seeing a different change in the new influencer. So as before, we might have had a lot of Instagrammers kind of influencing us. Now we're looking at doctors, nurses, gynecologists. So, really seeing a shift because of everything that's happened and the way that consumers are buying. So along with that, we've titled this Survival Kit. Obviously, we all know that hand sanitizers have been key during this. We've been cleaning our hands, we've been using sanitizers, but along with all this comes a lot of drying effects. So hydration has been something that's key and that we continue to see key going forward. So just looking at more hydrating products, right here we included First Aid Beauty with all their hydrating products, and just seeing a lot more almost kits, like these cute little survival kits, just kind of giving you everything you need. It can be an ingestible, it can be a mask, it can be a cleanser. So just seeing a lot more hydration. And then along with that is we know that consumers don't really want to touch the face. So we are seeing innovations in touchless products and more hands-free. And we're really seeing this both in solid form and spray form. And I really think we're going to see it in a lot other formats, just, again, the wanting of not to touch the face. So some of the ones that we included here and some that are on our radar is this whole solid skincare collection by We Are Wild. So they've actually come out with a cleanser, a toner. So it's not just kind of one product, it's a whole line of that are stick.
Merci. Ouais.
Hello, sorry, I heard someone. Okay. So yeah, so definitely seeing a lot more within stick formulations. Sprays we're also seeing come up. I Do Care came up with a spray mask. So again, just trying to see other ways, we're used to kind of applying a mask, and now just having that touch-free texture and formula, we're definitely going to see more of that. And then, like I mentioned, protection is a key part of this trend. So, and while it is about, immunity protection, what we put internally, we're also seeing this as a packaging form. So I love these two examples. The UV protection glass is actually a glass manufacturer in Italy. Hopefully I say it right, but it's Bormioli Luigi. And they've actually created this glass that protects the inside of the ingredients and the product from UVA, UVB rights. The same with this brand called Protocol. They've created a special airless property bottles. So they protect, especially those really sensitive ingredients like vitamin C. So while preservation, again, and protection is the key of this cultural trend, again, it's not just about, it's protection in all kinds of ways. So again, sustainability, packaging, and I really see a lot more of innovation coming from this kind of protection and packaging as well. And then along with that comes some purposeful products. So we are also seeing that, while COVID-19 and while in quarantine, people have kind of had this term of, we called it lessedance. So almost like, wanting less instead of more. And we've seen this with products as well. And I know, within the beauty space, we've kind of had a back and forth of like, okay, do we go 14 products? Do we just go 3? So especially in this time, a lot of people want more of like skincare acting as makeup, or again, a product like these Artist Cleansing Silk, which is a cleanser, an exfoliator, a serum all in one. So just seeing a lot more of these products that just kind of give more multi-purpose use instead of just one use. And that it also goes with the conversation of waste and sustainability of just having just one thing instead of many. And then ingestibles is another trend that we can keep seeing. And I will speak to immunity a little bit more in tomorrow's webinar, but we know that part of the protection is what we are putting inside, and sales in ashwagandha have gone up. Vitamin C has gone up. So, just seeing a lot more of like how we can protect ourselves internally, but by using other, other means that aren't just kind of like topical. So we are seeing that nutricosmetics have been trending for a while, but while it's been a little bit more like powder, collagen, we're seeing other forms, especially in more of these kind of like vitamin forms. So, acne has been an area that's kind of interesting to see in these capsule forms. Zit Sticka and Calista, both here, are 2 of those that are, really working with the beauty from the inside out by creating these probiotic, these kind of like working both internally and externally. And we know that there's this whole idea of beauty snacking. So we're definitely going to see a lot more of these kind of like, beauty products that you can basically eat. So we can't talk about protection and not talk about sustainability. We continue to see, even though what's happening, we are seeing how the earth, is healing, how the earth is changing. So sustainability will continue to be at the forefront and continue to be a trend that we track at Fashion Snoops. And some of the things that stand out for this trend are environmental impact. We are saying, okay, by the factories we have, by the products we have, how is this influencing, how is this hurting the environment? So one brand that really stands out from here is this Huron. Sorry if I mispronounced that. It's actually a food brand, and they have this whole carbon score rating. So transparency is also really important, and we think by brands really showing like how they're impacting their environment, what their carbon footsteps are, it's really going to be another part of this like whole protective measure. We know Billy, the brand Billy, they have a whole calculator on their website. So again, finding ways to kind of show like, okay, we are good for you, we're good for the environment, and having the proof by having these kind of like carbon scores. So definitely showing we're going to see more of that. And along with the sustainability conversation comes different forms and textures. So water has definitely been a conversation that we've had, scarcity of water, the importance of water. So definitely seeing innovation and different forms of waterless products. Powders have really been on our radar. And right here, we have everything from hand wash powders by Forgo. We have this enzyme cleansing powder by Skiness. I personally love the one in the middle. It's Nude and Crude's waterless shower powder. So again, thinking about other areas, bath and body, skincare, where you can incorporate these kind of textures. And with, one of those, the boxes are pretty small, and it takes, and it lasts almost 40 washes. So again, just kind of seeing more of these products that use less of the natural resources, but still give you all of those benefits. So along, again, with sustainability comes ingredients, and kelp kind of has been our hero ingredient for the past 2 years. Mushroom was on top, but kelp kind of took over now. And what's, great and about kelp, and what I love, like when we call out a super ingredient, is one that really does it all. It's like good for you if you eat it. It's good for the environment. It's good as a beauty product. It serves as a plastic substitute. So this is really, why kelp is on our radar. It even helps clean the ocean. So we're just seeing this in this, again, it's been something we've been tracking almost for the last 2 years, and we just kind of continue to see how kelp and algae continues to evolve in formulations and will continue to impact and be a key ingredient in the industry. And then some other ingredients that may not be as big but are on our radar are prickly pear and succulents. And what I love about these two also is that they don't require a lot of water. Prickly pear to me is going to be the next super ingredient, because the same as kelp and mushroom, it's good to eat. It's great as a beauty benefit. And we've also seen research done in a university in Mexico where there are seen ways that they can also use it as a plastic alternative. So, really looking at prickly pear as being the next ingredient. And again, succulents, Jawawi in Korea is a brand that uses that in their line. So just kind of seeing the benefits from, again, these ingredients that don't require a lot of water. And then insects, I don't know if we'll really see that as a beauty ingredient, but we are starting to, in the food world has definitely, we've seen a lot of that. So it'll be interesting to kind of see where insects go in the beauty world. So my next shift is tech synergy. And, obviously we're all online. We're all online right now. Unfortunately, we couldn't physically be at the trade show, but we're seeing this technology evolve and the way it's impacting our lives. So we called it tech synergy because while in the past it's almost been like, oh, technology is, changing our lives for the worse, like we need to disconnect, we're actually seeing a synergy with humanity. So finding a nice harmony of humanity and virtual living and embracing this digital world. So lots happening, especially because of COVID-19 in the technology space. Among those is digital storytelling. So we know that a lot of brands had to quickly shift. I mean, even, COSMOPROF itself quickly shift into going from a physical space to a virtual space. And we've seen this actually, really work with like product launches, with ways to learn about new brands. So we're just going to continue seeing brands have to do this whole digital storytelling online. Obviously, Instagram and TikTok are some of the key places where we're seeing a lot of these, but just the continuation of storytelling we'll see happen. In the wellness area, telehealth has exploded. We've seen, with people, more and more people not wanting to go to the hospital because of the situation. We're seeing a lot more like digital therapeutics, and this is definitely an area that we see growing. One, because we do think that more people will not want to go into doctor's offices. Two, it's, sometimes it's just easier. It's just like you speak to your doctor, you get your prescription, you pick it up. And when we started to track this, it was a bit more just kind of like your primary doctor, like simple diagnosis, but we're really seeing this expand into OBGYN doctors as well. We're seeing it expand into virtual consultations as well. So if you wanted to, check your dermatologist. So definitely telehealth is an area that will continue to expand as we've gone online. And then, along with telehealth is almost like this idea of like being your own doctor. So we're seeing a lot more products of at-home testing. The one in the middle is a great example. Everywell, they have everything from fertility testing to tracking, analysis. So just seeing, again, almost having the power in your hands, so being able to check everything, to monitor. And we've seen this at CES for a few years, with wearables, but again, we're just going to see a lot more of like people being more in control and being able to kind of see, Fitbit has even escalated their doings by giving an active zone minutes and, you know, just analyzing your different exercise, especially since exercise has also changed if you're doing it from home as opposed to walking outside. So again, this is an area I can probably speak all day to, but I think it's super interesting within the wellness area. And because it encompasses so much, you know, it is again about women's wellness, you know, physical wellness, emotional wellness. So just seeing a lot of these more at home and telehealth services. Music also plays a key role, and you know, we know with the pandemic, I think stress has gone up almost 70%. So and it's not easy for everyone to just kind of sit and meditate. So we have seen the power of music be incorporated to, you know, meditation, because as much as like within beauty, you know, we've talked about physical wellness, emotional is just as important. So just again, seeing a lot more music incorporated. Spotify has this whole playlist called the Daily Calm to help people out. I love this brand with the girl with the headphones, Wave they're called, and their whole thing is again using music as a meditation. So just seeing a lot more of just, you know, incorporating music. Sex tech is another industry that we are seeing boom from technology. And I'm not sure if you know, but we've seen a big spike in sex tech because of quarantine. So whether it be because people were alone or because, you know, people were coupled up and, you know, we're stuck at home, this is an area that we've tracked for about 2 years, but has seen an enormous growth and will continue to see a growth, and especially in the technology. Like I know, you know, while we've tracked sexual wellness, it's been a little bit more about, you know, what is like period care or hormonal care, and we talked about fertility and we talked about CBD lubes, but really seeing how like the technology and the merger of sexual wellness is really the next big thing. You know, we have some of the brands here like My Hixel, again, their numbers went up during the whole quarantine. The one in the middle is an interesting vibrator because it actually can be controlled by your partner. CES, I know last year, again, they banned this category, and then this year it was one of the biggest things. So, you know, it is, again, a really interesting area to continue to track. And like I mentioned, you know, there's so much great technology coming here. There's so much wealth of it. So this is definitely an area that we're seeing a lot of growth in. And then, you know, of course, the same as I talked about in preservation, talking about wellness, talking about preserving ourselves, we are seeing a lot more within climate as well. So these wearable air purifiers, where a lot of them might just be testers or just kind of seeing, you know, how this work out, we are going to be aware of our climate, of our air, especially anything, you know, like with wearing the mask, like what kind of like air is circulating. So just seeing a lot more within the wellness industry of like innovations, merging technology on how we can wear these airable purifiers. Along with that comes sanitation. So again, and this one, I know that the technology one is very wellness heavy, but I think, you know, again, it's great because wellness is such a big part of beauty, and we're just seeing a lot more of sterilization products. So again, cleanliness with both this trend and the last one, hygiene are like the key things that people are going to want going forward. So just seeing these great smart products that either clean your phone, that clean your keyboard, or, you know, these special antimicrobial gloves you wear when you're going shopping. This is definitely not going to go away anytime soon. Even with things opening up, you know, people are still going to be aware and, you know, scared of cleanliness. So having these kind of like sterilized sanitation products are going to be super important. And that's the end of my shift. So again, I spoke more to preservation and to technology, but tomorrow, if you want to join, I will be speaking to more of natural, clean beauty. And, you know, with everything going on in the USA and in the world, I'll be speaking to inclusivity and global community. So hope you can join for that one as well. And then for anyone who, you know, wants to know more about Fashion Snoops, we have our contact here, so you can definitely email me if you have any questions. It's always hard with these trends because I feel like there's so much to say, so we definitely have so much more on our website. But yeah, you can contact me, or you can contact Charlotte. She's our European brand ambassador, so both of our emails are there as well.
Thank you, Melissa, for this amazing presentation. So now we cannot wait tomorrow to listen to the second part. I invite all the attendees. We have hundreds of them in online right now. I invite you all to raise any questions in the question box at the right of your screen. Feel free. Melissa, first question. How do you see our lifestyle evolving in response to climate and pandemic concerns?
Yeah, I mean, definitely we are going to see the whole kind of like no touch situation. You know, people, especially with like beauty stores or beauty sampling, you know, people are going to be a little bit more concerned with how they are touching things or how they're handling products. So I think that we're going to see a lot of changes there. Also, this merger of kind of physical and digital. And I know, you know, the second trend was technology driven because of everything now, but just seeing kind of, again, that merger of like, okay, how can we have a physical experience, but feel safe and then have a digital one as well.
Thank you. And of course, there is this question, is sustainability still as important as before?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, if anything, you know, people were concerned, especially here in the United States, about the plastics regulation changing because of everything happening with the pandemic. But I think more than ever, we're learning how sustainability is even more important. I mean, we've already gone from it being kind of like a nice to have to a need to have. But again, now seeing like, you know, the way that even different cities have changed because of being, you know, cleaned up. And I think it's definitely something we're continuing to track, especially when it comes to packaging, when it comes to new resources. So, you know, again, it's been growing, and I mean, it's going to be with us for the rest of our lives. It's almost at the point where like everyone, whoever hasn't shifted needs to shift as well.
Thanks. We have so many questions. I have to select one. I will forward to Melissa all your questions and we will prepare a newsletter with the most relevant questions and answers. How have you seen brands shift from in-person to a digital space?
Yeah, so you know, like I mentioned, a lot of it has been through that storytelling. So seeing brands, you know, either go on Instagram, finding ways to also engage with the consumer. I think even though it is a scary time, what has been something great about everything is like the sense of community that we've seen from everything happen. So, you know, maybe some brands that like a consumer would never be able to talk to, now they're able to have a conversation with. So I think this whole idea of engagement and community and just being able to have, you know, more access to brands has been super important. Transparency has also been important, you know, throughout this pandemic and throughout everything happening. We've seen the brands that kind of have just capitalized on what's happening, and the ones who have really been here to help, we've seen how many of the fragrance companies quickly jumped into creating hand sanitizers to helping all the nurses and doctors. So I think, you know, this has also been super important with its transparency, and again, will continue to be important. And especially with everyone going online, you're basically able to find out everything and anything about the brand you love, about the people who run it. So I think, you know, again, it's super important for brands to be honest, to be transparent, to stand for something. And we're going to continue seeing this as a shift.
So Melissa, we are going to see each other tomorrow at 5 p.m. Central European Time. Thank you for this webinar and for this inspiring presentation. Thanks to all of you who have been with us for these Cosmo Talks. Thank you.
Yes, thank you again. Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.